All right, what a beautiful tune! What a beautiful tune coming your way, and that sings with our today's quote, which I love so much. Today's decision determines your destiny and how your tomorrow will look like. So it's just now by saying it, you're gonna act, you're gonna do things that defines your tomorrow today. If you wanna reap tomorrow, you're gonna sow today. That is what it means. That if you wanna drive tomorrow, you're gonna learn how to drive today. You need to invest. It's not by investing in yourself. And Linda, all the way in Cyprus, I said good morning. Good morning to you again. I'll go back to listeners if you haven't. Been listening to that program, Career 101. Please do. The podcasts are available on our channels, our web, our app. Please download it. And that was a powerful. Basically education given to us on Monday, and it syncs again with this. So basically, you can't expect different results, but you're gonna invest in yourself. You're gonna do something new, and that is why we're turning our attention to something new. Focus Nigeria with all the kings being perpetuated, of the killings being perpetuated by both foreign and homegrown Fulani. Many Yorubas are still living in denial because they have not become a victim yet. Fulani is a Peki 60 Walahar. We should continue with what Owumbe party. That is what is coming from Olayomi Taiwo. Taiwo, thank you very much for those messages. The Nigerian troops repel insurgents on looting spray in Yobe. Yeah, that's good for you. Yomi, thank you very much for that as well. On your screen and on the screen as we speak is the renewed show that comes today. We're going to be having Charlotte Odum at exactly 5 o'clock, who will be hosting Evangelist Leanne Cummings today. Evangelist Fire International Ministry, that's where she worships and that's where she fellowships. So they will be coming our way today, and the topic they'll be looking at freedom, the freedom life. That is why we're going to be talking today at exactly 5 o'clock. And again at 7 o'clock, we're going to have Bossman, the Property Hour. Is one show that you do not want to miss. You're not getting to property, doesn't matter wherever you are. You can key decisions that you make, strategies that enable you to step into that property market, where you can also call yourself either a stakeholder in the property market. Do not forget, even cleaning. Exclusive scholarship available from London South Bank University. They'll be telling you a lot about that. You want to learn property? Well, there's a scholarship that are available to you. Anyway, let's come back to the current affairs this morning. Which is basically our job at B.
Yes, a very good morning to you, Frank. Good morning to all our viewers around the globe. Good morning to you all, and welcome again to the morning show. It is the 26th of August 2021. It's 10 minutes past 11.
How are you?
Well, a bit tired, but as usual, we're back to what we love to do most, making sure that our viewers know what is happening around the globe, global thought train, and also as we're going to be going into some of the news coming out of Nigeria. Not a very good news this morning, but we'll be discussing all that later on in this program.
Someone asked me, how do you do it? I see Olayomi in the morning, I see him in the evening. Sometimes we see people. How do people that select? This is what we call a sacrificial job. We do it as a direct result of the love for it, the love for our previous countries, and the passion for what we're doing. So, yes, how was the program yesterday? Nigeria Voices.
Well, Nigeria Voices, as you know, 4 years down the line, is still going very hard, and especially with the new tone of the agitation that I've also embedded in it. But apart from that, there was something I picked up. If you remember, we had Omoyele Sowore with us in the studio just before the 2019 election, and there was something that he put out yesterday that is quite interesting. That during those campaign, I mean, we couldn't get the APC or the PDP on our program, during Niger Voices, so that we can get them. Well, it would have been nice to have the president himself, not representative, because it would be nice to get the interview of these individuals that wanted to represent Nigerians. And let me just quickly say what Sowore did ask. He said the Nigerian media did not allow interviews with the great ideas during the 2019 presidential election. The owner of some of these television gang up with some NGOs people to deny us a spot on presidential debate, and that has now left us, according to him. I'm just trying to fast forward. Meanwhile, you could see in this interview ideas, life-saving ideas, and all that. So it seems the media did not give them the platform, during those campaign. And what he's now saying is, the turnaround stole some of those ideas, according to them. But today, we are stuck. The economy is in shambles. The national debt has risen to unbelievable, unsustainable level. Children are not safe. And I can confirm 5 children that were kidnapped in May have literally lost their life this morning.
Wow, wow, wow. On that media participation, I think it's a subject that bothers a lot of people. But again, the organizers sometimes, because we did have a similar situation in other African countries where the parties will demand that, look, let also get some representation over there. And they say, no, we have our criteria, those people who have seats in the government, and those who have seats in parliament, and those who have offices that we can verify. They are those who have been allowed onto the program, and that. It can be a very daunting experience for some of these people. Because others will say, okay, some of these political parties are just using these platforms to market themselves. They should do the hard work first before they will be considered as credible enough to be included in some of these debates. But look, it's a chicken and egg argument. Where do we start from?
Well, where do we start from? And that is why, as the countdown to the next election is now 3-way in. We have the politicians, that believe that they can turn things around, and we also have the agitator that believe that it is time now that the politician close the shop. And the politician going to close the shop. We would have to see, as let me give us, how many days before the 2023 election on our countdown that we have here. So literally we have 533 days, 13 hours, 44 minutes, 51 seconds from today before that 2023 general election. I mean, I did sleep very late. I did a late night broadcast, with my listeners yesterday after even coming back home of the Niger Voices. And there was something I kept asking, do we still have the president on the seat and the vice president? Because yesterday, 36 innocent lives were killed. Out of those 36, 16 of them were burned to death in Plateau State.
Wow. 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 Let me just allow you to go straight into the headlines.
Well, let's go straight into some of the headline this morning. Once again, if you've just joined us, it is Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, as we continue to give you the update. Yes, I'm sure you saw that already. Alhaji Lai Mohammed says his trip to America was fruitful in the midst of all the fake news on the social media. That is coming from the Minister of Information. It seems again, I was looking into the economy yesterday during the late night broadcast as well. At 2015 till now, we've not really seen any growth, but it seems slightly. Maybe Nigeria's economy grew by 5.01% in the second quarter, according to the National Bureau of Statistics. Also, the NNPC reject custom proposal on petrol smuggling stoppage. Some of the two things that I highlighted when you talk about the economy is about the capping of the gasoline, which is the petrol that we use in Nigeria, and likewise the inflation of the exchange. Yesterday and this morning, it has literally gone a little bit more. That means if you're sending money onto Nigeria, the exchange rate is about 717 naira to £1. Also, a retired matron jailed for buying a boy 50,000 naira. A retired matron jailed for buying a boy for 50,000 naira, and then he was able to sell it off for 200,000 naira. I mean, you would think this is a movie, but this is the reality that is taking place, especially in a country where child protection is no longer, of interest to a lot of the local government and most, parastatals in the country. These all took place at the Akwa Ibom State High Court sitting in Uyo, where a 47-year-old woman got through Akon to 10 years imprisonment for trafficking in children. The convict was said to have brought a 6-year-old boy in Uyo and taken him all the way to Owerri in Imo State, where she sold the victim to one Kate Ogbono. The court presided over by Justice Okon Okon found Akpan guilty and jailed her without an option of fine. Let's go straight to some of the other headline, and then I come slightly back again. It's 18 minutes past as we speak today. Nigeria win the first goal at the Tokyo Paralympic. We never won one, at the first stage of it, but it seems our Paralympic are making headway by giving us the first goal according to this headline. Gunmen target 5 apartments. Federal government incompetent, says the CAN and the CNG. And likewise, the Super TV CEO have rejected family petition, Inspector of Police seeking a new probe into the murder. For now, let's come back again to you in the studio. It is still Star Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Yeah, Olami, some troubling news items coming from Nigeria over the last 24 hours. Very disturbing. Very disturbing. News that is also coming suggests that some more attack has taken place this morning. And one of our commentators, or one of our messages that we're having on the message board says that even this morning, troops repelled insurgents and looting spree in
Yobe.
Yobe State. Okay,
Yeah.
now let's
5 children
that
were kidnapped in May.
that were killed. These are people who have been kidnapped, right?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, let's go into it. If you remember, this year alone, more children have been kidnapped, taken to the forest. Some have been, returned back successfully, but we still have, quite, amount of full hands of them still in the hands of the terrorists, in Nigeria as we speak today. I mean, this particular incident that we are talking about took place at, Niger State, where 200 children were taken away by the terrorists. But we can confirm that 5 of those children have now died as we speak this morning. It was in May 2021 that the terrorists adopted, dozens of students from an Islamic school in the north central in Niger State. Just like other terrorists attacked the country, this year alone, thousands of children have been kidnapped and hundreds of them have been killed. It shows also the government have lost the fight against the terrorists and have now exposed the whole country to danger. So this is what has happened. And again, we can only pray to the loss of lives of these 5 children and also the family going through a lot of pain. But yesterday, it's another death in Plateau State, and those bodies, apart from the ones that were burned to death in the houses, were taken by the citizen of Plateau State to drop the dead body right in front of the government house as well.
Has there been any reaction from the government, both the central government and the local government?
Well, I mean, I did saw, that there's a curfew currently going on from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. presently in that particular state. There's been a lot of complaint currently as well. It's not the first time, this incident is happening in Plateau State. It seems, Benue was in that, angle earlier as well. And let me just also quickly since that we are discussing that, this is what a former, security officer that also had insight of the attack as an example of what took place at the Nigerian Defense Academy. This is what he has to say in one of the mainstream media interview yesterday.
Send a message to create fear and to show the military that we can come for you and there's nothing you can do. You may not know, I don't know whether it's out in the news, that the major has been killed. Belongs to some groups, and I know about 3 hours ago, his body was found. He has been killed. So, it's not about ransom. I just want to confirm to Marpe that she is right. It's not about ransom. They just want to pass a message. We can come in. We can do what we need to do. And there are some hardliners in this government that are sponsoring this kind of narratives. They just want to show that they can Islamize this country. They think about Taliban, they think about the Mujahideens, and they want to replicate it in this country. And they don't care what happened. They simply don't care. As long as at the end of the day, there's Sharia, and there is whatever thing they have in their head they want to achieve. So these people that are sending messages are sponsored by Nigerians. Please go ahead. This part of what you just spoke about now.
So this is a former Navy comrade, Kunle Olayomi, that gave this interview on one of the mainstream media. This particular interview have traveled around the whole world, and again, just like what other individuals that have a bit of understanding and knowledge, like the former deputy governor of the central bank, Dr. Malafia Obadea, that have spoken last year as well. It also correlates that. I mean, I've read a bit of what he has said. That was just a short clip of it. He also said the Nigerian Defense Academy tend to open up their gate on a Friday for prayer, and that means it can also become a state of, and like you're allowing individuals to to flood into a well secured environment, and that is also part of this situation. But like I said, currently right now, Plateau State is under curfew, from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. But most of the states now are trying to get as many of their students out of the University of Jos, where there's been a lot of reprisal killing as well.
Wow. I do agree with the security, the ex-Navy officer for what he said. Because at the end of the day, I mean, we've seen commanders being killed. We've seen an airline, a Nigerian plane being shot, brought down by bandits and terrorists. Then here we see brazen attack on a military installation. One will say, if there's an attack at all, the last point of where you run for refuge should either be the police cell, or the police station. You go to the military installation. At least you have a sense of that you have men and women paid by the taxpayers' money, or recruitment that have been procured by the taxpayer to at least come to your defense. But here we are, that even such an institution comes under attack, and the people could not defend them. If they have fought them off, a bit of secret that yes, our men are still able. But here's the case: some of them need to their heels. It's a bit of troubling time. But good news also coming that this morning, coming from where we are told that Nigerian troops repair incidents. More into that. If you have any further information on that.
Oh yes, there was a kind of a fight between the borderline. Yes, some soldiers were killed, but there was also a repel back by the by the military as well, the Nigerian armed forces. I mean, the problem is that we're talking about a very strong armed forces that was well managed until the corruption kicked in and most of the soldiers were not given the right materials and the right tools to fight back, because now we know that most of the situation that we are witnessing today is also that there's a kind of infiltration inside the military already. I'm just looking at this is just coming from the Nigerian Army official Facebook. Logistics remain critical to success in a military operation. This was posted about 55 minutes ago, which is exactly what I've just said right now. According to the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, has asserted that the logistics remain a critical component in war if decisive success must be achieved. The COS made this known during his remarks at the Combat Service Support Training Week 2021 held at the Brigadier General AKH Yakubu Officer Mess Nigerian Army School of Supply and Transport in Benin City in Edo State.
Wow, that's good. But then if we're talking about logistics, let's go to what Taiwo is saying. Taiwo is saying Nigeria signs military agreement with Russia. We know these agreements alone do not transform and translate into effective protection of citizenry. Because just a couple of years ago, I think 2 years ago, we had some military equipment, helicopters that were supplied to the Nigerian military. One would have expected that after that supply, would have seen them going after the insurgents more, would have seen them going after the bandits more, would have seen them telling us that the rate at which Boko Haram attacks community has reduced because now they have power, and they can bomb and they can actually take down even convoys of these bandits. But that has not translated. So it's good that yes, they signed this agreement. Taiwo, thank you for that message. But as to whether it's going to translate into effective defense of the people is another thing we should be worried and concerned about. Olayomi, let me draw you back to the comment made by the security couple. I'm a bit worried because there was a religious angle that was spilled over there about the Sharia law. Let me come off that news item. I know you are Muslim, so I'm going to ask you that direct question. What is the stance of majority of Nigerian Muslims when it comes to this Sharia law that we are being told some people, criminals, bandits are trying to use or spread across the country? And again, he has accused the government directly, saying that elements within the government are sponsoring these criminals.
Well, the question is, Nigeria is meant to be, a secular state. So that means that regardless of your faith or your religion or your, background or your tribe, you should be able to live, in harmony. But, some of the states have already divided the country by introducing Sharia law, for a very long time. So that means, most states, are operating more of a Sharia than the normal law within the country. The question you ask is, what is the view or the opinion of most, other Muslims to Sharia? I mean, majority of Nigerians or majority of the Muslims would prefer to live in a proper way of lives where they're well educated and things are moving forward, compared to what, the Emir of Kano talked about in regard to what you just said as well, that, we must not allow, the excuse of, the situation back in Nigeria. This is just a clip of a sound bit of what he said.
And misunderstanding our priorities, and we have to be very honest with ourselves. I'm an economist, and I always talk economics, and we look at the numbers, and we look at poverty. If you look at all the poverty indices in the world today, you find that in southwest Nigeria, the incidence of poverty is 20%. In the northwest, it is 80%. The northeast, it's 80%. Why is it that the poorest parts of this country are the Muslim parts? Why is it that in a state that started Sharia in 1999, and we just heard the opening verses today, Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. This is the very first verse revealed in the Quran. How come that the state that started Sharia is not the one that is the most educated state. In fact, how come that?
And you can just get the picture of what it was trying to explain there. I mean, we've got states that started Sharia, but yet, those states are not educated. But in the other way around, in the southwest, where we have Muslims, we have most Muslims that will prefer to live with other, religion within that boundary, but yet they are also not given that same opportunity because of the system. So most moderate Muslims, prefer to be Muslims, but not to be controlled by Sharia law that was implemented in some of these states that have also made more poverty line to majority of their citizens.
Okay, for some of our listeners who might not know much about Nigeria, might be looking, like I told you, a friend of mine who traveled to Nigeria, and thanks for Madame all the way in Nigeria who helped during that, I call it incident, where she was in Nigeria and was under pressure. Tell me there's no way she will travel to that part of Nigeria again. Give us some of the states that, the name of some of the states that practice Sharia.
Well, we have Zamfara State, Kano State, Sokoto State, Katsina State, Bauchi, Borno, Jigawa, and Kebbi.
Okay, so we have the president's state before we even assume office, which practice Sharia law. Would that be a justification for criticizing, like the military man or the officer was saying that, look, these are governments that have supported Sharia law? Because if you look at it, it's a product of that state, supported by mostly people from those states. Would there be an element of truth in what he's trying to say? That, look, these are products of Sharia law, and they come to government just to use the Sharia law.
Well, if you look at the state, like you did mention, the president's state, the question in the minds of an average Nigerian is, could they be the reason why they've not, he hasn't said much when it comes to some of these questions being raised by so many Nigerians in terms of the Sharia law. Again, it's something that a lot of Nigerians will disagree with you, but some would say the president has been very, very quiet, especially the majority part of the killings are taking place in the Christian-dominated state like Plateau State.
Wow. That is very unfortunate. But whichever way you look at it, troubles are brewing everywhere in Nigeria, and we expect that the security forces, the government, do more to safeguard lives and property. It's not good. But if you are a business person and you're going to pitch Nigeria to even an outsider that you want to do partnership, and if you're outside over here and you've seen an opportunity you want to take to Nigeria, they then begin to look at it and, well, the incidents that are coming from certain part of Nigeria, they say, oh, it's all about Nigeria. It makes it very difficult trying to sell our beautiful country to the world. Well, let's go to other headlines and then we'll take the
Yes.
social news.
Yeah, let's go straight quickly to some of the other headlines coming out this morning. Once again, it is a very good morning. Apapa Oshodi gridlock. Sanwo-Olu's traffic teams has failed. It seems nobody is trying to solve, give a solution, to the gridlock that leads to one of the biggest ports in Africa, and yet making trillions of naira. Some few years back, we saw the vice president in an helicopter overview trying to find out what solution can be brought to it, but it doesn't seem to be working, as Apapa gridlock is creating a lot of economic mess, to the country as well. Also, the state of the nation, Nigeria has never been so divided. Okowa, Adebanjo, Akim, Baba Ahmed, is coming up this morning on one of the, news daily as well. According to the eminent Nigerians, including the governor Ifeyi Okowa of Delta State and the acting leader of the Pan-Yoruba Social Political Organization, Afenifere Pa Ayo Adebanjo, and the spokesman of the Northern Elders Forum, Dr. Akim Baba Ahmed, yesterday expressed the same reason that a lot of those that believe that Nigeria is no longer working, worried over the growing mistrust among Nigerians, just as they call for the review of the 1999 Constitution. They spoke at a dialogue organized by an online newspaper at the second annual dialogue team, Rebuilding Trust in a Divided Nigeria, advancing the conversation held at the Sheraton Hotel in Lagos. And the question is, can you really change, amend, review a constitution that was a military decree that was put on force on us? This has been part of the reason why there's been a lot of review in force of the state, asking that the 86 exclusive list included in the 1999 Constitution that does not allow a state to generate their own electricity, does not give a state to bring their own security like the police, and that is will have solved some of the issues like we are saying the killings in Plateau State. It has also been a reason of a dispute by the Ninas that have also brought in the constitutional force majeure that took off on the 16th of December, demanding that the 1999 Constitution grievances declaration of constitutional force majeure and demand for a transition process for orderly reconfiguration of the Constitution. So could it be that, everyone is now, looking at this, even though they might not agree together, because remember, a state governor would not prefer, a constitution that is in dispute, as he will call it, but those that believe is in dispute, but he also believes that that constitution is worth looking at. So this is quite a very interesting one to look into, but I'll be discussing that later on more as well. So Governor Koba, who was the keynote speaker, says Nigeria is passing through a perilous times, and that is
what we are witnessing increasingly. Whether you look at the intellectual community, the security community, you look at the ordinary people on the street, you look at the market women, the students, everybody is not accepting that the path that Nigeria is descending onto is a dangerous, precious one that will not sustain, will not help to hold the country together. That is what it is, because increasingly the churches are now speaking, pastors are speaking, the bishops are speaking, people who ordinarily you wouldn't expect them to take the political space to voice out and not talking. Where is Nigeria headed?
Well, and that is what he said. Nigeria has never been divided as it is today, or witnessing such a magnitude of mistrust of ourselves and our nation. Nigeria is passing through perilous times aside from during the Civil War of 1966 to 1970.
Let's hope that the destination, now that it's passing through where it end up, finally this destination does not get to the point where people begin, or the most vulnerable becomes the affected ones. Civil war must not. Nigeria must not allow itself to descend into civil war. Our elderly women are those deceased from Afghanistan. If it teaches us anything at all, the vulnerable, the women, the children, the disabled, they are those who basically becomes more casualty. We want Nigeria to go to that level. So yes, we're passing through it, but let's hope and work together that the destination does not end up in guns. We know guns are already placed on a daily basis. People are being kidnapped, but it should not be an all-out war. Olayomi.
Let's go straight to Twitter this morning, 11:40, 26th of August 2021, Starr Radio UK. Remember to follow us on Twitter, on YouTube, and Instagram. And remember to download our apps. But if you're sending money onto your loved ones, remember to use SendWaves, S for Star, R for Radio. According to Ifa Funshaw at Funshaw Graphics, Buhari regimes knows the people don't love them, but they are forcing themselves on us. When rulers loses the love of their people, they have no business in being in the government, but they are shameless rulers with no integrity and intelligence. That is coming from the Twitter handle this morning. Let's see some of the other tweets that is also trending this morning. Once again, the images as well. Let's look at Simon Ekwa at Simon_Ekwa. Umaya of Ebonyi State must return the 6 billion naira collected for Ruga. Tell him this is the current map of Nigeria. The green is the north, the white part is the south. Ebonyi can never give Fulani any land, otherwise we will bring on handing war, which you have just talked about, that we shouldn't bring the war. It will be fought in Umaya village. That is coming from that Twitter handle as well. Let's take one more quickly. Ayo Mojuba says leadership in a country can limit what God plans for a nation. God needs men to do his will on the earth, and the quality of men you give him to work with will determine how much he can do through them. Everything spiritually needs a physical body for his manifest through as well. Also, first, it was Obadiah Malafia, now Comrade Kunle Olawumi retired. God will do this part by sending us help. It is left for us as a people to take advantage of them even in the valley of the shadow of the tyrant. So that is coming from Twitter. And the last one will be from Ilano, Omo Odua Diaspora. And like I said, good morning once again. Good afternoon if you're joining us. It is still Star Radio UK. Again, the video is generating quite a lot of conversation. But according to Ilana Omo Odua Diaspora, if NDA was in the southeast and such attack took place, by now, the army will be burning down Igbo villages and killing the Igbo. This is coming from Idris Abdul Karim. Idris Abdul Karim, I'm sure you remember him, was the one that sang during the former president Olusegun Obasanjo regime when he was the president, Nigeria, Jaga Jaga.
Wow. That is what the speaker was saying about how Nigerians feel that the country divided, because if we get to a point where others believe that by virtue of being or coming from one area, you will be treated differently or security issues will be handled differently in that part, I don't think it's something that gives confidence in the nation's security forces. Let's hope that, and again, the other part about God, yes, Allah will choose his people, but men need to do what they need to do. We have to appeal to Sibanjo. He's the second highest gentleman on the land and in the land. And one would have expected that, well, even if he's still paying his schools, and he should come out and speak to Nigeria more and interact with Nigerians more. Even Buhari is not speaking and still picking up his stick in between his teeth after eating a nice meal. We expect that to Sibanjo, please. The prayers, yes, God has heard your prayers. Come out and speak to us about what God is telling you, the direction Nigeria is going, because we cannot continue to hear these banditry, kidnapping, killing on a daily basis. Nigeria is not a slaughterhouse. And here we know crime happens every day, but this should not be the case. Olayomi, finally, before we go, any other things you want to say?
Make sure you stay tuned with Star Radio UK. Don't touch the dial. You still have Frank there to take you through the rest of the segment. And I'm sure when Frank is on the seat, the reggae man will continue to give you the best out of it.
You know the reggae. So the first presentation we're going to take is one of our heroes, a man I used to know when I was young, from Nigeria. He sings and he blazes. I mean, when people return from Nigeria, no Ghana school, they came with those ghetto blasters. By the 1980s, by the 1990s, his song was dominating. Last people know under pressure. This was not in Nigeria. They were under pressure. We'll see you right back.
Bye for now.
This is Starr Radio UK.